All right, so we're gonna go on and see if this volume is audible at this point in time. So I'm just hoping that now we can go on and get the show on the road. Gloria, can you hear me? Absolutely perfect. All right, so that's great. Hey, Kamira! Oh my God! So, guys, Kamira is just one person that takes the most amazing pictures ever. So, go onto her page and see what she does. I mean, she does the most. I've actually just asked her now how she gets all these amazing pictures. I mean, she has these cute little pictures, and I'm actually looking for something for my highlights. So, Kamira, if you can just help. So, we've been really trying to see how we can grow the following that we have on Instagram so we can have more people getting the information that we actually have on here. So I'm really excited. Hey, thank you so much for joining. So we're basically talking about how anyone can get into the corporate world. It's not restricted to anyone that is in the medical field. Anyone can get in. So if you are an engineer, whether you're in IT, we don't have a lot of photographers though, but we definitely have people in marketing and PR that are in there. And we have a lot of people that are doing admin, call center work, accounting, if you're doing logistics. So basically it's an all-rounder. If you really are interested, you just need to say, hey, I'm doing this. Is that something that you guys have as an offer on there or one of the posts? And the nice thing is, yesterday we were talking about LinkedIn, and I said you need to get onto LinkedIn if you're looking to get into any of these companies. And bang, I go on to LinkedIn, and only to see that, LinkedIn has this very weird algorithm that they have. And so this post that I got to see was already 4 days old. And I sent it to everybody. I'm like, guys, I said get on to LinkedIn. There's like a whole list of posts that are out from Company Art. And I definitely did share those with you guys. Did you guys find them any interesting? Did you go and look into the positions? And which ones are you guys interested in? Did you find that the job descriptions are easy to understand, and can you match any of those with what you already know? And if you don't, did you guys phone HR today? Did you guys email? Did you put your details onto the website? Just send me the comments on there so we can see who's doing something. Have you applied to any of those positions? Are you still looking for more information? If you are, yes, most definitely. So definitely you guys, so tell me which position you're looking for and whether you actually have matching skills or not, and what else you guys have done on there. So just a little bit story about myself. When I got into, they do match. Hey, which one matches? Tell me which one matches. And then put it in there so we can talk a little bit about it as to which of these. So there's definitely a long list. I'm actually studying my first year biomedical science. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, that is amazing. So I'm so happy that you're here. And this is amazing. I'm so happy. I thought you're actually studying photography, Kamira. Like, interesting. Hey, Lindy, thank you so much for joining. So we're talking about, this is a small world. I'm so happy that you're actually studying biomedical sciences. So you definitely have a lot to gain from these lives that we're going to have here. I'm currently looking for more information. Some of them match. So what information are you looking for exactly, and which ones match? And so yes, I have. I'd love to update my CV, but I need help with it, please. I've applied to Roche before, but was unsuccessful. Okay, so there's two ways that I do these things with the CVs. One, you can send the CV through and I can just review it and I give you feedback and you do it yourself. But if you send it to me for me to do it on your behalf, then I charge for that. But otherwise, I can always review it and I tell you what you need to change, tweak and there, and then you do it yourself. But if you want me to do it for you, then I definitely do have a fee for that. You can DM me and then we can talk about what the cost is for that. Hey, Namfundo, thank you so much for joining. And there's already posts that I have put out on LinkedIn, what you do to your CV, your profile and all of that. So at this point, it's not too late. You can still go onto LinkedIn and interact and have conversations with those people at that company. So that's why we were talking yesterday about you need to prepare and have yourself ready. And now how my story can really just motivate you right now when you have absolutely no idea how to get in is when I got into corporate. You won't believe I applied to all these other companies because I knew their analyzers. I worked on their analyzers. I knew I trained people on those analyzers, and those are the companies that didn't take me. The company that actually took me knew absolutely nothing about me. I had never ever worked on the analyzers before, and actually at that time I didn't even know what this company was, because I was actually more in the chemistry, and the lab I was working at that time did not use any of their analyzers. So I'm telling you now, it's not too late for you guys to go in and apply at these positions. It's not too late that you need to know. You don't need to know anyone in there. If there's proof that you can go into any one of these companies, that my story, I hope, can show you today that you can definitely go in and do all of these things. So I really hope you're inspired just by that mini story. All the companies I knew of that I applied for didn't take, sometimes not even a response, not even we've noted you. Sometimes a couple of months later you get that we regret email, one of those almost generic ones. It's like they just sort of batch them out to say we regret for every other position you've ever applied for. And then I changed my strategy. So the first time I went in then with a recruitment agency, and that was Eat Alliance. And they were working for that company to recruit for them because their HR did not want to actively do the hiring themselves. And so my first interview, I went in and there was just the hiring manager there. And so we had this weird, just a conversation, just talking between the two of us. And at the end of the interview, I'm like, so when are we starting with the interview? He's like, we done. Like, we literally had a conversation. It was the weirdest interview I've ever had, and probably one of the best. We were just talking, and I was expecting, those very strict type of interviews where you're sitting and there's a panel and there's, I only had that with the second round. I love the one of the technical specialist. So definitely technical specialist is one that you can definitely go into, because you are almost already doing exactly what the technical specialists do. So technical specialists are those people that have a lot more information on the technical side of the analyzers. So how they work, how the test function. They will troubleshoot with the customers, the things you already do in the lab, QC troubleshooting, calibrations, maintenance of the analyzers, fixing and working together. So what you actually also do is you become a liaison pretty much. So you are the link between the customer and the company itself. Same thing as an account manager. So you are like middleman. So when you go to the customer, you represent the company, and when you are in the company, you represent the customers. It's really one of those weird type of positions to be in, because in the company you are the customer's voice, and you can fight and batch heads with everybody in the company so that your customers can get what they want and what you want that is best for them. And when you are with the customers, you've already sort of fought the fight for them in the office, and then what you do then is you come and represent the company with them. But when you are in the lab, the main idea is for you to blend in with the lab, to know as much as possible about the lab, what they do, who they've hired, what their next goals are, who's actually who's now the new pathologist, what do they like, what company are they interested in, what type of studies are they interested in, do they want to be a KOL, so like a key opinion leader. So you use your KOLs most of the time if you're doing marketing and you want to promote your product, for example, and you get one of these people. Key opinion leaders can be a pathologist, it can be a consultant, it can be someone that just understands the product, and you can even teach them yourself that, okay, so this is what we have. And most of these things are not new. It's just that now, say for example, troponin I, most people that were using troponin T and they maybe want to move to troponin I, your role is to convince everybody else, including all the medical aides and the labs and the doctors, that they must now switch over if they want to. Right, so you work together with those things. We never stop learning. You use the same pathophysiology that you've been using. So what you're learning now, Kamira, in your undergrad, you will still use when you are either in the corporate or the lab or wherever else it is that you want to go to. I know you're in your first year. Is there any other thing that interests you? Do you already know where you want to go? Okay, so There was a question and you said you want more information. So just tell me what information you actually want on there so I can give you the information that you are looking for. So let's just now talk about, you guys have now gone in. You've seen the posts. You go on to LinkedIn. You interact with those people from that company and more. Remember yesterday you picked 3 companies that you want to go for. So you have those companies, you invite the people that are from those companies, you start to have conversations with them. You can comment on their post, meaningful comments, not like just, oh yes, yeah, and a smiley face, or just like you, when you comment, you want to leave something thoughtful, or you want to ask a question that they can answer and give you more information on. And then later on, you want to take that conversation into the private messaging. So you can say, hi, I'm whoever, just try and be a normal human being. Don't try go there and say, I'm looking for this post, I want to join your company. Like, you need to serve them and give them value, and don't just ask. They get asked so many things so many times by so many different people. So you want to be different. You want to get to know them and find out from them what interests them. Do they have a lot of traveling that they have to do? How do they manage the balance between work and life? Just try and get to know those questions, because you want to understand, do they have really great medical aid benefits? Do they get to work from home sometimes? When they travel, do they travel out of the country, or are they just in the country? Is it all of them or just that person? What other levels of growth do they have? Do they have incentives? Do they have training available? So you want to just find out those nitty-gritties from them by being nice and not just upfront asking for a job while you're there, right? And then later when it comes, you can say, yeah, I am looking, what's the best way? Do you guys use recruiters, or must one apply there, or do you work on referrals? And if you started as a normal conversation, just be upfront and tell them, look, I'm interested, but for now I really just want to know whether this is for me. So what you've done is you've shown them at the end of this, I might actually ask you that I'm looking for a job. You sort of tell them here, like, I'm interested, but I want to know more first. So you don't just go there and say, I'm looking for a job, I'm sure you can help me, give me a recommendation. Don't even ask for a recommendation. I've had people who don't even know me ask me for recommendations. Recommendations usually should be someone that has worked with you, and they know you and they understand what type of person you are, and they will be willing to give you a recommendation. It's really good for you to spot those people that you want. At least 3. I've always said 3 is a bit of a magic number. At least 3 of those people that you can put as recommendations. It's not necessary for you to put those 3 references on your CV at that point. You can have them request for them when they're actually doing the interviews. So they won't look at them at that point in time. They will only ask for references when they're actually ready to now move further with you to the next level. So pick them wisely. If they want a written referral, get someone who can write something nice for you. And yeah, Gloria has done quite I think she did one for me that I almost used everywhere else. And now the other thing with cover letters is you want to customize your cover letters for each and every company that you apply for. And don't make it generic. Like, you must be honest and say what it is. If it's a company that you have absolutely no idea what it does, you can say, look, I looked at the profile, this is what I'm seeing. I know when you're trying to write something professional, you almost become like rigid. Don't. Like, these people read these things so many times, they all look the same. So try and be different. Try and find a different way. If you are in the artsy type of environment, you can even make your cover letter yellow or pink or whatever it is that's going to make it pop out. So you want to stand out no matter what. Now, if you are already in there, now you've got your CV in and they are now starting to call you. And before they even call you, let me just go back to say the options of you to apply. So you can either apply directly on the company website itself, or you can use the recruiting agencies that we have. I already given you Italians. Another one is Salesworks. If you go on there, if you go on to LinkedIn, there's a search button in there where you can search for recruiters. and you can search for those companies, and in that profile you can go and click, and it'll give you a whole list of all the people that are working in that company, and you can still further filter for the people in your area. So if you're in South Africa and you're looking for people that work for company R, you can find the list of people that work for that company, and you can find the people who are in your area. So if you are a Joburg or you are in Pretoria, you can search for those people in there. All right, so you can search for people that are local, and you might find someone who knows someone, and just start that conversation, and comment, like their post, then they will also comment on yours when time goes. And don't be afraid to post. I know it's new, so what you can do is study it for about a week, and then start to see what people are posting, and then you can now start to add your own things. So the advice from my side with LinkedIn, I've been on LinkedIn from 2011. I'm still learning Instagram because I just started with it now, and I'm getting quite a lot of help. Thank you so much. I'm learning the platform, and I respect the platform for what it is, and so you should also do the same with LinkedIn. So what I'm doing now on LinkedIn is, today is actually day 45 of my journey. So I put there my journey of becoming Leah M. Mulai, because I'm like, okay, fine. I had some problems at work. I was like, literally, my work was suffering in terms of balancing my productivity, my travel, and my work-life balance, right? And so I figured, you know what, let me put this thing publicly so I have some form of accountability. So I put it out there to say, look, I'm starting this journey. I don't know what I'm doing, but here goes nothing. And everything I post on there is real. It's everything I'm learning every day as an application specialist. It's all the mistakes I'm making, all the right things I'm doing, all my schedules are up there. And so people know what I'm doing and what I'm actively doing at that time. And you can find your own thing and that you can run with. So yesterday there's this girl that was, she's studying a course with bioinformatics. And I said to her, look, how long is it going to take? She says 4 months. I'm like, maybe you should just take us on a journey. Maybe put a hashtag so we can follow it and see what you are learning. So maybe we can also learn with you along the way. So it's actually a very nice platform, and you just put it out there and treat it with respect that it deserves. So it's absolutely an easy platform to learn. So you can definitely go there and learn it on your own. If you want, I can definitely develop a course for you on how to nail LinkedIn. But you guys know I'm going to charge you for that one. So when you do things on your own and you follow what I've already posted, then you can do it for that. So otherwise, I can build a course for you. We can definitely have it pre-ordered, and then we can take it from there and we build it as we go along. So you guys already know there is no course for LinkedIn that I've created. So it's starting now. So I can create a course, we can link it together, and we can put it together with what we're already doing now, and we can take it from there. That's how courses are built. You don't have to have a complete course from the beginning, so we're definitely going to build one ourselves right now. So let's do that, and then we can definitely organize and talk about the pre-orders from there. Right, so let's continue with this. So when you get now a chance to go into an interview, you know what, there's so many people. I actually took some screenshots of the post already. Some posts already have 166 people. That was yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's more now. Others will say over 200 people have already applied. So you already know that nice technical specialist position already has more than 200 people that have applied. So what does that mean? And who are you competing against? You're competing against other medical technologists. You're competing against people that are not even in the medical industry. You're competing against people who are already in that company. You're competing against people who are coming already from the other diagnostic companies. But that should not put you off. That should not put you off. You still, if it already goes to a point where now you're getting to an interview level, already it means that they saw something in your profile, in your CV that they like. And if you like Gloria, they already headhunted you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of those places where HR and recruiters and hiring managers literally physically go on to LinkedIn to look for people. So we're definitely going to talk more about what you should have on your LinkedIn, but otherwise it's already on one of my posts on LinkedIn as to what you have, what your profile needs to look like on your LinkedIn. So have your name on there. Make sure everything is nicely spelled out. what your title is at that current time, and where your location is. It's very important. Remember, I told you when you're searching, so if you are in a certain location, put it on there, so when they look for a company for a representative for the Gauteng area, then when they look for Pretoria and Joburg people, your name comes up. So you need to make yourself searchable. Sometimes they search for job titles, so if your job title is medical technologist, put it in there, so when they search for medical technologist, you actually are able to appear on the searches, right? So now let's say you are now moving on, you now are in the interview. This is a whole life on its own, how to nail that interview. And I think for Gloria, do you think we can do one about interviews? Gloria is so good at interviews. She nails every interview she goes to. But my friend is a little bit too expensive for some of these people. So, so I mean, that's like the one place where we really you have to find ways. And so we can also teach you how to negotiate your salary. I mean, I've always been one person that has almost every time failed to negotiate my salary, except for this time, because I thought to myself, you know what, I need to do my homework and learn how to negotiate. And the nice thing about being in sales, because I've already now been in sales, it's almost easier to find your way to negotiate through things. And yeah, can you guys just hit me up with the comments? I think I'm not seeing them. Oh yes, this is why I was not seeing them. So I'm interested in technical specialist and the data scientist, definitely. So I'm researching what exactly does a data scientist do. So I know you're already also interested in public health. So here's the thing. So what methods are you using to research? Are you researching it on your own? Are you contacting the people from the company? Are you phoning HR? So what kind of research method are you using? Are you just doing it on your own? I'm interested in the training side of the biomedical field. That is actually great. We already have actually on IGTV camera one that we did on training. And I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy that one. If there's anything else that you feel is not available on that one, please feel free, and then we can address it in another live. And the post I'm looking for, and some of the posts they are looking for managers, lead. So I'm wondering if someone with 4 years of medical technology work experience would qualify for such posts. On LinkedIn, are you a premium subscriber? No, I'm not a premium subscriber. What I did was I was a premium subscriber by the time I was actually looking for a job. So it does have a little bit of an added advantage, but it's currently around 749 rands per month to be a premium subscriber. So what you can do while you're actively looking right now, they have a trial period. I think it's for a month now. It used to be 2 weeks. Now it's a month. So you can have it on trial, and then before your trial expires, you can take it off and tell them, no, you are not interested, because they almost immediately pull it off of your credit card. So being a premium subscriber does have its benefits, because you almost go on top of the list of the job seekers, because you are a premium subscriber and you are paying a hefty amount of $7.49 to be a premium subscriber. And some of the posts are looking for managers. Like I said to you, there are certain posts that will look for managers, but you will never know until you try. So for me, rather apply, let them say no. Don't say no yourself. I think that's one thing we touched on yesterday about males and females. Do not say no to yourself. Let them say no to you. And at that time, and if you really get to a point where now things start to slow down a little bit, you can phone HR and say, what exactly are you guys looking for? Does someone need to have a management degree or something like that? And you know what? In one company, you might need that. In another, you might not. So remember, I told you the company that I worked for, I had no idea who they were. I had no idea. I've never even worked on any one of their analyses. They liked me. They liked me as a brand. They liked me as what I have to offer and what value I'm adding. They loved it. Like, you know what I mean? So they will fall in love with you. And most of these companies, if not all of them, have training structures in place. they will train you to be a manager if they like you and see that you actually do have some form of potential in there that they're looking for. So don't say no to yourself, let them say no to you. Please do one for the interview. So we're definitely going to do one on interviews, so you can have more information as to how to prepare for those interviews and so on, right? So we're definitely going to do that one for you. Gloria, I hope you're going to jump in on this one. Gloria is just laughing her lungs out, but absolutely. So keep the questions coming in so we can have a more of a discussion on this. Is there any other question that I might have missed? So we've already touched on the training side of things, but we can definitely, training, I said to you yesterday, we still do it. In even if you are a technical specialist, there definitely will be times where you will be required to train. So you will train anyone on your level, anyone below you, and anyone above you. All right, so training we do all the time. You also will train customers, you train engineers, you train other technical specialists, you will train anyone that comes in from the hotline or the call center or whatever else they call it. If there's product managers that are coming in, so you definitely have to find a way to learn and get into training. So the way I got exposed to training was on so many levels. I got exposed to training on a lecture level, so I can lecture a room of people and talk about theory and practical and all of those things. And then I also got technical training. So technical training is literally on the bench training, where you show someone how to use the analyzer, how to run a whole bench in the lab. So when you're talking about running the bench on the lab, we're talking about receiving calls. So you train someone on how to receive calls, not to allow the phone to ring 3 times. When they pick up, what should they say? You need to train them exactly what to say when they pick up, introduce themselves, the company, and have, if a customer or a doctor at that time is angry, how do you calm them down? So all those skills you will need in the lab, you will also use outside in corporate. All right, so you're going to have angry customers that have run out of reagents. You're going to have angry customers, the machine has been down and they cannot fix it. You're going to have, so you definitely, we are going to have a session on interviews. One of the things you need to prepare for is conflict management and all those things. So how did you handle your last conflict? When was the last? So we obviously going to have a longer session on that on its own, just on interviews. So in that time, you prepare yourself and you remember, oh, how did I handle my last conflict? What was my last innovative idea for the lab? You have to come up with ideas for the labs to get better while you're in them. So if you've moved from company A to company B, try and see what worked at company A that company B is not doing, that you can introduce as something innovative. And maybe this idea that you introduced at company A and they didn't take it, maybe company B will like it. So you use those things when you are in the interviews to say, what is it that you have done to make that better? And then after inspiration things, thank you so much, I will definitely do that. So usually when I do research on a post, I use the following platforms: the website, LinkedIn. I send the relevant people emails, but I've never heard or thought of calling HR. Thank you. So you definitely phone HR. They are there to assist you and give you all the information about those positions, because it makes it easier for them. So the nice thing about emailing and phoning HR, they get bombarded with emails, right? So you can send an email at least once a month to HR to say, hey, I'm still available, I'm here, I'm looking, right? When you phone them, there's something special about picking up the phone and phoning. Everybody's always so scared to phone. But when you phone them, it's easier to have information on the phone than to type it out and put it on an email. All right? It's so much quicker. Now, if you can do either a voice call to your friends, or you can do a video call rather, or you can do a voice recording. Isn't it quicker than typing it out? And you can laugh and you can talk, and it's almost like a real conversation. So don't be afraid to phone them, because the phone rings and then they can quickly say da da da, and if they're in a meeting or something, or they're rushing for something, then they can tell you immediately, look, I'm still busy right now, maybe just call me or pop me an email. You pop them that email, and then in the email you'll tell them, I'm sending you this email, like we discussed, I'll phone you then tomorrow 10 a.m. So you phone again then tomorrow 10 a.m. You've already told them. So what this does then is starts to build a relationship the HR person somewhat starts to get to know you a little bit more. The magic number again is 3. So they get to know you. The more they see your name, the more they recognize your name on emails and phone calls, then they start to see, oh, okay. Some of them, you know what, people are people. Some of them at that time might be rude, but not all of them will be. And sometimes somebody's just having a bad day. Don't take it personally. HR is really one of those departments that are frustrated with admin. Everybody's always complaining to them. They're always having grievances. They're having disciplinaries. They're having HR people are really stressed. So don't just give up on them at that time. That's what I was saying to you, that in corporate you need to be tough. Kamira, thank you so much. You need to be tough. You can't just now say, oh, this HR person was rude and now you write off the company. No, you don't. You keep going until that person warms up to you. I almost had the worst experience ever myself yesterday. I went into one of these shops to get a modem, and the first 2 minutes, that lady was so rude to me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I should have just gone to that other branch. But, I don't know what happened. Maybe she realized now after some point that I'm like not phased. And I simply just was gentle with her, and I was like, look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm hoping you can help me. And she later at some point came back. She even gave me a much better deal than I went there for. And so if I had judged her on that 2 seconds, I don't know what was stressing her. I have no idea. I've come to a point where if somebody is really rude to me, I try and understand where are they coming from. I mean, if it happens once or twice, or now I address it. There's a difference. We're going to talk about that also. So you don't allow people to stamp on your feet, but you don't also judge people just by the first 2 minutes or the first 2 phone calls. I know we are in a world where we judge people on their pictures, on their images, the first 3 seconds and all of that. But you know what? We are all human, and we need to find ways to just live together and empathize. Somebody might have just maybe had a whole fight with their husband, or maybe they lost their child and they still have to go to work. And so there's so many things that could be happening at that time. So just be empathetic and keep going. So it's your job search, and you want that job search. So I mean, that recently for me, I learned myself. I got so upset that I was not even enjoying my time at the company where I am right now, and I couldn't understand why there was this negative energy. And I think, I almost actually quit. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm doing my darndest. I'm out in a foreign country. I'm somewhere in Nigeria. I could literally get kidnapped in this place or killed by Boko Haram, whatever it is. And when I come back, there's this report that they're looking for. At that time, I was really upset. But you know what? For me also, I was wrong in a sense that I could have just done what they needed me to do at that time. But then you also find at the end of that there's missing links. What you think is happening might not actually be what is happening. And so I've been wrong myself a couple of times. I've misjudged people a couple of times. A lot of people misjudge me. What I get usually is people are always sort of waiting for me to not be nice. They're like, no, she's too nice. She can't be that nice. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. And if I come in and I'm not happy, I'm not a superhuman. If I'm one day not feeling cheery and happy, it's fine. I think we are all at that time, we're all human. And you know what? Let's just learn to live together. And I mean, one guy said to me, well, why are you giving this much information? I'm like, I'm giving the information I wish someone had given to me when I needed this, and I'm also leaving it out there in video form for my kids when they're probably older and I'm like no longer on this earth, that all they can do is ask that question, type it into Google, and they will get an answer from me that I had put on today. So if my kids ever want to go into corporate, if my kids ever want to start a business, they'll see it all here and say, okay, fine, I have my answers. Things might have changed then, but they will still have me with the information that I'm putting out there that I'm sharing with you today. And someone then asked me, so thank you so much. Someone said to me then, why are you giving them this information? I'm like, I've been doing this offline behind the scenes. Yes, I do charge for my services. It was very hard for me to charge for my services. I used to like go on and help people at my own time, and I couldn't charge them for anything until I got to a point and I realized I'm not doing them a favor by just giving them the information. Some people need more time, and whoever needs more time then can come on to me and I can offer that time, but I do charge for that because sometimes people don't appreciate what you give them for free. Free advice is just what it's worth, free, but you give it away anyway. There's a blessing in giving. That's why I always say train as many people as you can. The blessing doesn't have to be one here on earth. It can be in any other form that you want it to be on. So let's carry on with corporate. So now you're gonna get that interview. Thank you so much. You're gonna have an interview. We're gonna have a live just for interviews, and Gloria, I'm calling you on for this one, for the live. So when we are offline, just let me know when you'd be available for that one. I truly believe that Gloria has some valuable advice that she can give us on that, and between the two of us we can bounce off of each other and definitely give you much more information on that. So definitely when we're talking about going into sales, some of you guys will go into sales in corporate. Sales has a misconception where people think that you have to force people to buy a product or something that they don't want to buy. It's not about that. When you go into sales, you are there to serve your customer. Those people already have a need, and your role as sales is not to force them to buy things they don't want. It's for you to also make them realize what they need. It's for you to give them the service that they're looking for. Say, for example, you are having customers who want to buy water from you. The fact that you are selling water, you are actually helping them, you are serving them, you are giving them the water that they want. And if you are selling good quality water, give it to them and charge them a good value that they will appreciate. So don't ever go into sales thinking, I have to force people to buy reagents. No, the labs already need the reagents. Why? Because patients need to know what tests they have to run. They need to know whether they're having high blood or high glucose or they are anemic, because there is a need. And once they have those results, the doctor can treat them, and this person can be better off, and they can have a great time and live a longer life with their family. Does that make sense? So you are not there as sales to force the people. You are actually helping your end customer. So that's a different way for you to look at sales. And sales is not about you yapping and talking all the time. It's about you listening to your customer. If your customer says, I'm looking for mineral water, don't give them still water, or don't give them sparkling water. You ask your customer, what can we already have? If you want to go back, there's already on YouTube and IGTV about sales already. We already have one that we have done already. And Kamira says, so true. People don't want to buy what they don't need. Absolutely. If they don't want to buy, it means they don't need it. But if they need it and you have the product or the service, why are you keeping it to yourself? Why are you withholding it from them? Give it to them because that's what they need, right? You're not going to force anyone. Now, this is the thing you have to understand. Not everybody is going to be your customer. Not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to want to buy from you. If, say, for example, Kamira is selling the same still water that I'm selling, but they have a better relationship with Kamira, guess who they're going to buy from? Kamira. If they have a better relationship with me, because the relationship was built on value, the relationship was built on honesty, the relationship was built on me serving, then they would want to buy from me. So when you go into sales and you go into corporate, it's not about you. It's never about you. It's about the customer you are serving. And your customer can be the lab, the doctor, the patient. At the end of the day is everybody's customer. The patient is everybody's customer because that is the one person we are serving. That is why we are in the lab these long hours. That's why we are in the lab going on while we are tired. We're working night shift. We're working weekends. We're working overtime. We're working public holidays. We're spending Why? Because of that customer. So if you always think of that patient, which that patient could be your mother, it could be you, it could be your kids, it could be your neighbor, and it doesn't even have to be someone you know. That patient can be anyone, but you are there to serve them. So if you have water, go sell that water. If you are like me and you review CVs for a living, I can review the CV so that you can get a job, that you can serve your family and yourself. If you want to go travel because you're not getting an extra salary, so be it. You know, and now she says, I'm preach. I think it gets to that point. I'm so passionate about what I do and helping other people that, you know what, I think it's only fair to put it out there. And, you know, if I'm charging for the service, it's because you also need it and I also need it. It's a win-win situation. And at the end of the day, if I give you the information because I struggled for it, I was in and out. I mean, I struggled just to get into corporate, and to learn everything that I've learned was through bleeding, and that you don't have to go through the same thing. You know, we all have different experiences, and so that's why at times you need to just ask these different people what they went through. And if I tell you my story, you won't believe. I mean, all the amazing things that I have right now, but I went in, I had a nice job, I had a horrible boss at some point, and I even decided to leave corporate. And then I went broke along the way. And then, you know what? I went back into corporate because I figured this is my love. I cannot allow anyone else to bully me and take me out of my own purpose. And yesterday, it's so funny. Yesterday on Facebook, I put a question: why are some people more successful than others? And while I was there, I then discovered what my real purpose is in life. And I spoke about it here on IG. And I didn't even know it was. So I told you guys I've been training and teaching people from a very, very early age. From Kontwane, Kachokboto, and like, to think that today I'm still training and I'm still loving it and I still want to train more people. And the one thing I never really shared with anyone but two people in my life is that I want to build a school. And for the first time, I never told anyone else except for those two people. And to put it out there publicly on Facebook was like, oh yeah, now I really don't have any other choice but to do it. And they really helped me find my purpose in the most unbelievable places ever, Facebook. And so I'm really, really grateful for that. And definitely, this is something that we're going to do. And thank you so much. Please do share this live so we can have more people on that can be impacted. And if you are interested, again, in my services, remember I said if you're going to do it yourself, I can definitely help you review. And if you want me to do it for you, there's definitely a charge connected to that. So DM me, and then we can talk about it on my DM or on WhatsApp, and then we can take it from there. And thank you so much for coming through. We're definitely gonna continue this corporate conversation. I'm thinking we have to just do it for the whole week, because it's almost building up on its own. I think we need to give it the time it deserves. And so you can go and do more. So your homework for today, you've already identified the 3 companies you want to go into. We've already identified now this one company that you have to go in and put your things in. Don't forget to also check out danaher.com. This is obviously not sponsored by them in any way. This is a private personal matter that I'm doing here with you. But there's nothing wrong that's stopping you from going on and applying on there, right? So go on to those companies, identify those 3 companies that you want to go into, talk to the people on LinkedIn, and we're definitely going to have more sessions about interviews, CVs, LinkedIn profiles, and all of those things that you can definitely go into. Thank you so much. I feel so motivated. I am so happy that you do. And go in there, man. You can see that I didn't come in as a perfect package. There are other places where you definitely go in there and you feel like you are not even qualified. When I went in, me too, very, very motivated. So I'm so happy that you guys are. So the next thing is for us to take steps. Thanks, Leah. Go build that school. Oh, thank you so much, Kamira. I'm definitely going to do that. And you guys are going to be there. So when we definitely do launch, I don't know how many years it's going to take. And so the other thing is, again, one of these, we do need funding obviously to do that. So when I do charge you, know that you're building a school, you know, so you can also take it as a form of giving, that we're gonna build the school with the same money that you pay for my services. So thank you so much. Abti Inspiration, thank you so much. Nomfundo says thank you. This was so helpful. I'm really grateful. And my friend Gloria says me too. I'm so motivated. So I really appreciate that. Let's meet again tomorrow 5 p.m. Invite your people. This will also go on my IGTV and also on my YouTube channel, Leah M. Mulai, and we meet again tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Let's have some more talk on this tomorrow. Bye.